So what would a truly censorship-resistant platform look like? Something we desperately need right now, especially for uploading video. Well, for one thing, it would be based on Android or Linux. Even better, Lineage OS, or one of the open source derivatives of Android. And it would be an app wherein every device that has the app on it is helping to run the network in a decentralized way, so that you're getting the data person to person. When you upload, you're uploading the data person to person onto the blockchain, and when you're downloading or watching the videos, you're downloading the data person to person on the blockchain. And the incentive for that would be earning a little bit of cryptocurrency based on based on running the network, based on uploading, based on downloading. That's a way that you could incentivize everybody to have the app running on their device, costing bandwidth and electricity, but they're getting paid in a little bit of cryptocurrency. I don't know of anything like that exists. There should be something like that that exists. I haven't seen anything like that on Android, which again I think is kind of the way forward. And not Android specifically, because obviously Google is evil at this point. I mean, they're just censoring documentary makers on YouTube, and they've done all kinds of the government's threatening to do an antitrust thing against Google. I have very little faith that that's actually going to occur, but it's certainly overdue at this point. I mean, Google is running half the internet, and the internet's running half the world now, so, or at least half the economy in the Western nations. So at some point, we're going to need an alternative. We're going to need to get off of Google altogether. The sooner the better. We've got a chance here at this moment to have true freedom of expression, true First Amendment, Second Amendment rights. But the giant corporations and governments are trying to take it away. And every day they're doing new things to censor dissent, doing new things to censor small locally owned businesses, and force everybody into the corporate slavery that they've set up. So I don't know how all of this is going to play out, but I do know that if we had a decentralized blockchain-based video production upload network, similar to the way that YouTube works, but truly decentralized, peer-to-peer, blockchain-based, and with people running the network, people uploading content, people downloading content, people sharing the content, getting paid microtransactions of cryptocurrency instead of mining, running the actual video network would be how the new cryptocurrency is generated. That could certainly go a long way to stopping the censorship of giant corporations and corporate-run governments. I think that it's foolhardy to assume that they're going to allow any of that to happen on Apple devices, on Google devices, Samsung devices. Any of these giant corporations are probably going to try to stop this any way they can. The movement is going to have to be completely decentralized. It's going to have to be open source, and Linux is no magic bullet. Linux has been heavily compromised over the last few years. System D, Linux Foundation, the corruption and backdoors that have been found in the Linux code, very concerning. And I don't think that Linux in and of itself is going to be a magic bullet. I do think, though, that because it's open source and it can be edited and altered and cleaned up and have some of those backdoors removed, we could build a platform like I'm talking about around the existing Linux code, and maybe maybe a derivative of Android like Lineage OS. The other thing is too, it's very hard to find devices where you can install Lineage OS. It's very hard to find modern devices where you have an unlocked bootloader and you can install an aftermarket operating system like Lineage OS, or even a fresh install of Android. Almost all of them come with, the manufacturer's pre-compiled binary blobs full of junk and backdoors and bloatware. And I think it will be so I mean, it's not just the software. We're going to need the hardware too. I'd be interested to hear what people thought, if there was a solution for hardware in particular, because I've been thinking about changing over to a phone where I can install whatever operating system I want on it. And most of the ones that you can do that with are very old. They're from other countries. They're not really designed to work on American networks. And so anyway, love to hear any feedback or thoughts on any of this from anybody. We definitely need some kind of solution. We definitely need some of this to change, and I'm not really sure anybody's really working on that right now. So yeah, let me know in the comments. I found my smoothie place.